already reached. Listen in.
נכון, יישאר בידי צה"ל. צה"ל יוכל לפעול בכל דרך על מנת להסיר איומים, למנוע מנהור, למנוע תשתיות טרור, למנוע התארגנות מחבלים וניסיון לפגוע במדינת ישראל או בחיילי צה"ל.
According to Syria's new rebel-led authorities, 14 Interior Ministry personnel have been killed and 10 injured in a quote-unquote ambush by forces loyal to ousted President Bashar al-Assad in the west of the country. They say the fighting took place near the Mediterranean port of Tartus. Reports say the security forces were ambushed as they tried to arrest a former officer in connection to his role at the notorious Setnaya prison. Russia attacked Ukraine's energy systems and some cities with cruise and ballistic missiles plus drones on Wednesday. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that the attack was quote-unquote inhuman on Christmas Day. Nearly 3 years into the war, the strikes wounded at least 6 people in the northwestern city of Kharkiv and killed 1 in the region of Dnipropetrovsk. South Korea's main opposition party has said it will introduce a bill to impeach acting President Han Duck-soo on Thursday and hold a vote on Friday. Now, this move that could deepen the country's constitutional crisis was triggered by a short-lived martial law. The opposition Democratic Party had threatened to impeach Han if he did not immediately appoint 3 justices to fill the vacancies at the Constitutional Court. Parliament voted in favor of 3 nominees on Thursday, but they have yet to be formally appointed by Han. Lawyers for South Korea's former defense minister Kim Yong-hyun have said that the emergency martial law was declared to sound the alarm against the parliament. The lawyers read Kim's statement, which criticized the main opposition party for quote-unquote paralyzing government affairs. This by passing impeachment motions against officials cutting the budget. The statement also argued that South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol has the right to declare emergency martial law, just as it is the opposition party's right to impeach government officials and cut budgets. Listen in.
국회를 이용한 정치 폐악질에 대하여 경종을 울리기 위함입니다. 다수당의 횡포로 당 대표의 형사 책임을 면하고자 방탄 국회를 열고 22차례에 걸쳐 탄핵을 발의하고 급기야 예산을 폐지하여 국정을 없애려는 시도를 해대는 국회를 이용한 정치 폐악질에 대하여 경종을 울리기 위함입니다. 이같이 국정을 마비시키고 식물 대통령으로 만들고자 하는 정당을 국민을 위한 정당이라고 볼 수는 없습니다.
Taiwan's defense ministry has warned of serious impact to security after opposition parties passed laws that would require a cut in defense spending of $2.4 billion. Now, this comes at a time when the island is facing elevated threats from Beijing. Taiwan's opposition parties, which hold a majority in parliament, last week passed a legislation to shift spending from the central government to local municipalities. This move has strongly been contested by the ruling Democratic Progressive Party and thousands of protesters. Talks between China and Japan's foreign ministers in Beijing have paved the way for Japan to host China's foreign affairs chief next year, and mutual agreement to hold a security dialogue as soon as possible. No details have been given for when the events will take place, however. After a working lunch with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi, Japan's Takeshi Iwaya said both agreed on continued high-level talks, including potentially an economic dialogue during the 2025 visit. A taxicab hit 6 pedestrians in Midtown Manhattan on Wednesday. 2 people, including the 9-year-old boy, were taken to Weill Cornell Medical Center, and 1 person was taken to the Bellevue Hospital. The other 3 people who were hit by the taxi refused medical attention. All were in stable condition. A New York Police Department spokesperson said the taxi driver may have suffered a medical episode, but the investigation is yet to confirm the same. The United Airlines has said that a dead body was found in the wheel well of a jetliner after the aircraft landed in the Hawaiian island of Maui on Tuesday afternoon. The body was discovered in one of the compartments that houses the airplane's landing gear when United Flight 202 from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport landed at the Kalului Airport. No further details about the deceased person have been provided. The airline is working with authorities on the investigation. Pope Francis has called for talks between Russia and Ukraine to end the war in his Christmas message. Now, the Pope mentioned the Ukraine conflict directly and called for the boldness needed to open the door to negotiation. Speaking from the central balcony of the St. Peter's Basilica to thousands of faithful in the square below, the Pope said, and I quote, "May the sound of arms be silenced in the war-torn Ukraine." Listen in.
Tacciano le armi nella martoriata Ucraina. Si abbia l'audacia di aprire la porta al negoziato e a gesti di dialogo e di incontro per arrivare a una pace giusta e duratura. Tacciano le armi in Medio Oriente, con gli occhi fissi sulla culla di Betlemme. Rivolgo un pensiero alle comunità cristiane in Palestina e in Israele e in particolare alla cara comunità di Gaza, dove la situazione umanitaria è gravissima. Cessi il fuoco, si liberano gli ostaggi e si aiuti la popolazione stremata dalla fame e dalla guerra.
Hundreds of university students marched on the streets of Belgrade on Wednesday, protesting against the policies of President Alexander Vučić and his ruling Serbian Progressive Party, whom they blame for a railway disaster last month in which 15 people were killed. The concrete awning of the recently renovated roof of the train station in the northern city of Novi Sad caved in on the 1st of November, killing 14 and injuring at least 3. One of the injured died later. Students are demanding publication of documents relevant to the station renovation and the prosecution of those responsible for the disaster.
Dakle, mi danima vidimo da se u medijima javljaju predsjednik Republike i predsjednik Vlade Republike Srbije koji nam odgovaraju kako su zahtjevi ispunjeni i kako uopšte oni imaju neko pravo ili kao da je uopšte neko njih pitao da oni nama ispune zahtjeve. Jedini ko je nadležan u državi Srbiji da ispuni naše zahtjeve jeste tužilaštvo. I mi smo se simbolično upravo zbog toga okupili ispred Republičkog javnog tužilaštva gdje smo im saopštili da nismo zadovoljni rezultatima njihovog rada, gdje im poručujemo kako mi mislimo da treba tužilaštvo da radi svoj posao i zbog toga, kažem vam, mi smo ovdje i bit ćemo ovdje dok naši zahtjevi ne budu ispunjeni.
The bald eagle, a symbol of power and strength of the United States for more than 240 years, has finally earned an overdue honor. It's officially become the country's national bird. US President Joe Biden signed into law legislation sent to him by Congress that amends the US code to correct what had long gone unnoticed and designate the bald eagle as the United States national bird. The bald eagle has appeared on the Great Seal of the US, which is used in official documents ever since 1782, when the design was finalized. Wounded journalists in bloodied clothes waited for help on the floor of Haiti's General Hospital after it was attacked by gangs a day before Christmas Day. A local photographer who was inside the hospital in Port-au-Prince on Tuesday recounts his experience during the attack that killed 2 reporters and wounded several others. Photographer Jean Fugain's Regala said he knew the area was dangerous, but like other journalists, he was invited to cover the reopening of the capital's biggest public medical facility. Take a listen. Jean recounts the horror.
M'a gade mur yo kap décalé et donc c'était une mauvaise expérience et quelques minutes après n'a joindre un grand monde, deux grands monde de k'ap vinn joindre nous à l'intérieur k'ap dit oui prend balle bien qui prend balle au niveau poitrine yo, bien qui prend balle au niveau et tête
The United Nations General Assembly has adopted the UN Convention Against Cybercrime, a landmark global treaty in bolstering international cooperation in the fight against such crimes. It has been the first international criminal justice treaty negotiated among UN member states in over 20 years. Now, the statement added that the convention creates an unprecedented platform for collaboration in the exchange of evidence, protection for victims, and prevention, while safeguarding human rights online. Strong storms moved through Houston overnight, heading into Christmas Day, leaving several roads flooded. The rainy roads present a challenge for holiday travel. Approximately 9.1 million people in Texas will travel 50 miles or more from home between the period of the 21st of December to the 1st of January, according to AAA Texas. Out of that number, 93% will likely travel by cars. Video from Hawaii shows the Kilauea, one of the world's most active volcanoes, apparently spewing lava into the air. The eruption of Kilauea volcano on Hawaii's Big Island has stayed within the mountain's summit caldera inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. No homes have been threatened. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory estimated the lava was about 1 meter thick. 1 week after a devastating earthquake rocked Vanuatu, aid organizations are racing to address the increasing need of an estimated 80,000 people affected, many of whom remain displaced and vulnerable. Relief efforts in Vanuatu are underway as aid organizations grapple with the overwhelming need of earthquake victims. The deadly quake forced scores of families to abandon their homes, with many now sleeping in tents or makeshift shelters. Listen in.
We know that some of them are just sleeping out in the open, in the tents or tarpaulins. During the daytime, they go to their home, but at nighttime, they don't feel safe to be sleeping at their home.
Tourists are heading to Finnish Lapland in the hopes of seeing the famous Northern Lights. The sun is at the maximum phase of its 11-year cycle. Now, this means that the solar surges, or aurora borealis as they are called, are a more frequent sighting on a clear night. It's time we slip into a short break. I'll see you on the other side.
Go on, show us what you got. Look at him go.
Go, Yasmin!
What's the master?
Compete in Gala Bingo tournaments for a chance to win a share of £10,000 each week. Gala Bingo, where a little joy goes a long way.
Right now, UNICEF is supporting millions of children in emergencies around the world. It's what they do. Teams are bringing emergency supplies to children affected by the crisis in Gaza, healthcare and safe spaces for Ukraine's children, and medical supplies for children in Yemen. £10 could help bring safe drinking water and life-saving therapeutic food. Search UNICEF supplies online or text supplies to 85525. Your support brings hope for children caught in crisis.
You could save money on your energy, broadband and mobile bills and feel more protected when you switch to a better deal. Switch and save now at uswitch.com.
We all love a bargain, like these flatmates who switched to Vodafone and are now paying less for their full fibre broadband, which means they can still stream 2 shows at the same time. But for less. Still gaming with mates, but for less. He's behind you. Reliable full fibre broadband for less from Vodafone.
This winter sale, say OMG because our best ever price is back. You'll get this unlimited data SIM for just £22 per month. And you can gift data to the family, so you can start the new year more connected to everyone and everything. All on the UK's best network. That's why families choose EE. Hurry, this winter sale offer ends 30th of January.
All the one thing
This Christmas, protect what matters to you with SimpliSafe. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Whatever you need to ask about cancer, Macmillan's free support line is just a call away.
Hello, Macmillan.
Whether it's money or work worries.
Am I going to lose my job?
Getting on with life.
Can I still go abroad? Get insurance?
Or just need someone to listen.
How do I tell them?
Our specialist advisors are here to help as often as you need them. Whatever you need to ask, cancer, work, money, life, call us now on 0808 134 1000.
Welcome back. India's state refiners, including Indian Oil Corporation, Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum, are exploring Middle Eastern crude options as Russian oil spot supplies dwindle. Refiners are short 8 to 10 million barrels for January loading, citing rising domestic demand in Russia and commitments under the OPEC Pact. Sources say inventory reserves will fill the gap for now, but warn of potential long-term challenges. Asian shares edged up in low-volume holiday trade on Thursday, continuing gains earlier in the week. Now, markets in Hong Kong, Australia and New Zealand remain closed. With Fed Chair Jerome Powell signaling fewer rate cuts next year, U.S. Treasury yields have risen, lifting the dollar and pressuring commodities and gold. Toyota Motors North America has pledged $1 million to President-elect Donald Trump's January 20th inauguration. Toyota matched contributions made by Ford Motors and General Motors. While Ford and GM are also donating vehicles, Toyota will not. The move comes as Trump proposes tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada, key markets for automakers including Toyota, which manufactures its Tacoma truck in Mexico. Trump is also expected to reverse many of Joe Biden's policies on electric vehicles and emissions. Bangladesh's largest railway Padma Bridge rail link project has officially opened across its entire line to traffic this week. It is one of the significant projects under the China-proposed Belt and Road Initiative in the country and was built by the China Railway Group Limited and funded by the Export-Import Bank of China. The railway, known locally as the Dream Road, stretches approximately 170 kilometers. Following its opening, travel time between capital Dhaka and the southwestern city of Jashore will be reduced from the original 10 hours to just 3 hours. Local media is reporting that Iranian authorities have officially lifted the ban on WhatsApp and Google Play Store, signaling a significant shift in the country's internet restrictions. A meeting was convened with the participation of heads of all three branches of the government, ministers and members of the Supreme Council. The discussions were focused on reviewing and adjusting policies surrounding internet governance and restrictions. The council approved changes to the existing internet restrictions. In a new development in big tech, new Vietnamese internet rules require Facebook and TikTok to verify user identities and hand over the data to authorities. Now, critics say this is the latest attack on freedom of expression in the country. Under Decree 147, all tech giants operating in Vietnam must verify users' accounts via their phone numbers or Vietnamese identification numbers and store that information alongside their full name and date of birth. They must provide the data to authorities on request and remove any content the government regards as quote-unquote illegal within 24 hours. The new rules came into force on Wednesday. All social media sites had been given 90 days to provide data on the total number of regular visits from Vietnam and the number of regular users per month to authorities. India's cricketing sensation Virat Kohli has been fined 20% of his match fee. This after he was seen shouldering a 19-year-old Australian batter, Sam Constus, on the opening morning of the fourth test of the ongoing Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. Now, the incident occurred after the 10th over of the morning when Kohli and Constance bumped shoulders while moving across the pitch between overs, which led to a war of words and heated exchange between the two cricketers. Matteo Berrettini is happy to be making a healthy return to Australia as the Italian prepares to open his season at the Brisbane International. Berrettini, who helped Italy defeat the Netherlands in the Davis Cup final last month, missed last year's Australia swing with injury after hurting his ankle and dropping out of the 2023 US Open in the second round. The former world number 6 was forced to withdraw from the Australian Open with a right foot injury.
I mean, hopefully it's going to be a long season full of tournaments and matches. As I said, last year I missed the Aussie swing and I started the season in March. So I'm really glad and feel, proud of myself that I worked really hard to come back and that the ranking situation is completely different. So, I worked really hard to come back here and be at my best. It's not easy to set goals, because you never know what to expect.
Top record producer Richard Perry died at a Los Angeles hospital after suffering a cardiac arrest Tuesday. Perry was 82 years old and a recipient of Grammy's Trustee Award in 2015. He had a flair for both standards and contemporary sounds. His many successes include Carly Simons' You're So Vain, Rod Stewart's The Great American Songbook series, and Ringo's Starr album featuring all the 4 Beatles. Netflix gifted music and football fans with performances by Beyoncé, Pentatonix, and Mariah Carey on Christmas Day during its debut NFL stream. Beyoncé's live performance was supposed to be the biggest test for the streaming giant, and it seemed to go off without a hitch. Well, that's all we have for you today. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Actor of the Year. By the way, my dear friends, probably I am one of the first ones in the history of NDTV to have this rare, proud honor of announcing and honoring as in the place of a real hero to a reel of my own movie, Shrikant. Without a further ado, with great admiration, love and due respect, the best actor of the year goes to Shri Rajkumar Rao. Please come on to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rajkumar Rao's versatility, dedication to meaningful cinema, and consistent delivery of powerful performances continued in 2024. His recent roles in Shrikant, Mr. and Mrs. Mahi, Stree 2, and Wiki Vidya Ka Wo Wala video showcases his deep commitment to his craft, often transforming himself physically and emotionally to suit the character's demands, making Rajkumar Rao the NDTV Actor of 2024.
जोरदार तालियां राजकुमार के लिए। भाई हम सबके दिलों के राजकुमार भी तो हैं ये। राजकुमार, आपसे पूछना चाहेंगे हम 2024 मेरे ख्याल से आपके जीवन का सबसे सुनहरा साल आप इसको मानेंगे?
Well, definitely. First of all, thank you so much, NDTV. Thank you, sir. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Shrikant, the real Shrikant, for giving us your life story and for giving me this opportunity to play you on screen, because it was one of the most challenging parts. But I had so much fun because when there are challenges, then only it's fun. Otherwise, it gets very monotonous, very boring.
आपने तो अपॉर्चुनिटी छीन लिया, नहीं तो मैं खुद प्ले करता था यार।
नहीं, प्लीज कुछ काम हमें भी करने दो। आप सब कुछ करोगे तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे?
नहीं, सीक्वल 2 में हम दोनों लड़ेंगे।
डन।
किसको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा, किसका लुक बेटर होगा, देखेंगे ना।
डन। बट यार 2024 बहुत ही अच्छा रहा। I think God has been really kind. This is my second Indian of the year. I received it in 2017 because that was also a fabulous year. But I want every year to be a fabulous year for our cinema, for our stories. I wish कि हम लोग अच्छी कहानियाँ कहें, अच्छा content बनाएं, so that we can films like Shrikant, where we can inspire people, because his life is so inspiring and not many people knew about him, unfortunately. But through cinema, we can tell such beautiful stories which can touch your heart, which can change someone's life. So I just wish कि हर साल 2024 जैसा ही हो और मैं यहाँ पर और आता रहूँ और ऐसे कमाल श्रीकांत जैसे लोगों से अवार्ड लेता रहूँ. So again, thank you so much, NDTV. This means a lot to me.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
I now request the Honourable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's India Alliance fissures out in open, and that too in the national capital. AAP versus Congress battle is now being fought at the highest levels after Haryana Aam Aadmi Party versus Congress battle now comes to Delhi. In the Delhi polls, now the India bloc allies are sparring. Aam Aadmi Party has gone to the level of saying that the BJP is funding the Congress to cut the Aam Aadmi Party's vote. In fact, Chief Minister Atishi did a press conference today and said the Congress list is made in the BJP headquarters, and the BJP has made Congress political list, like the candidates list, to take on the Aam Aadmi Party. The Congress, in fact, has also gone ahead and said that the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party in the 2024 Lok Sabha election was a mistake. Ajay Makan, in fact, called Arvind Kejriwal Farziwal. And this fight is going on. The Aam Aadmi Party has said that they will talk to other India Alliance partners to try and dislodge the Congress Party, the biggest component of the India Alliance, from the alliance itself. The BJP, rubbing their hands in glee in this fight, has said that the Aam Aadmi Party versus